What is up, Retromaniacs? Welcome to a special conspiracy theory episode of Short Prints. Today, we're going to talk about some of the hobby's biggest conspiracies. Let's get started off with conspiracy number one, that manufacturers send juiced boxes and cases to high-profile breakers and content creators. What are your thoughts on that, Joe?
Wait, I thought this was conspiracy theories and not just things that actually happen. I have seen so many videos, like Spider-Man Metal came out recently, and a content creator got 2 boxes of it, and they both had case hits. I don't know. It's kind of interesting that seems to always happen. Pac-Man opens a lot of stuff. Unless he's getting more than one box and he's only putting the best ones on. But you see a lot of folks. A lot of content creators get juiced boxes. And then on the flip side of that, how many 1-of-1s or out of 5 big time cards can Backyard Breaks get? It seems like, again, they open up a lot of product, but it seems it's not me or EP opening up these boxes and getting these 1-of-1s. It always seems to be the Laytons or the Backyards. And I don't know, just makes you think.
I disagree. They're not juicing boxes. There's no juice boxes, no juice cases.
Get him off the pod, Mike.
I agree. I listen.
Reasonable theories. This is conspiracy theories.
I listened to a podcast with Mojo Break, and they're breakers, obviously. So whatever, you're gonna have to take it with a grain of salt. But they said, like the bottom line is like you're getting your boxes and cases from a distributor. They're like people from like Topps and Panini aren't at the distributor saying send that box to that person, send that box to that person. Now, if a company's sending them directly to these people, but Backyard Breaks opens so much product that they have to be getting it from a distributor, I believe. So I just don't feel like it's
so
happening.
EP's evidence is a breaker saying that they don't get juiced boxes.
They open so much product. We don't pay attention to the duds. We only pay attention when they're hitting a downtown or a 1-of-1 or whatever. If that was the case, why didn't they send the Black Mac Jones 1-of-1 or whatever to one of the breakers instead of sending it to some card shops? Some kid could pull it in or wherever it was.
So they missed one. You're right.
Well, I mean, I don't think the conspiracy theory is that every single hit goes to the breakers or the content creators, but you can't argue, especially let's take a content creator. If they get a box of cards from a manufacturer and they open it on a channel and they have a big following and they pull something good, you can't tell me that there wouldn't be a benefit for the company to send something better to that channel to make people go, ooh, look what I can get out of that product. Like that's the key to selling anything, right? Any sports card product is what you can get out of it. And if you see your favorite person on YouTube or your breaker pulling that stuff out, doesn't that make you want to buy that product more?
To get the card that's already been pulled?
No, I mean,
not every card's been pulled. Like if you see Pac-Man, for instance, open a box of cards and pull something really good out of it, it's going to give you a positive connotation of that product and make you more likely to buy it. Like it's basic marketing to me. Like you're letting people see what you can get out of the product and that you can get good stuff, and they're going to be more likely to buy it at the price you want to pay, what you want them to pay for.
And keep in mind, not every big hit's been pulled. I mean, just was it just this past week a breaker pulled the Justin Herbert Black 1-of-1 from Select from last year. So there's still stuff out there. I don't think everything's been pulled, but to your point.
So why wouldn't the breaker then just open it themselves and keep the card and sell it? If they know they're going to get this.
Wait, that's called Backyard Breaks. We just talked about them.
They only kept the one.
They only kept the one.
But at the same time, it's why wouldn't they continue to sell breaks when if they get better hits that people see, oh, if I buy from this company, I'm going to have a better chance of getting something because they get all the good stuff and they're going to make more money off it because they're selling higher prices for their breaks and they're getting more people to buy in.
EP is just way
I'm waiting for you to.
EP is just
like,
way
I'm
too
just-
straight
I-
laced. He doesn't believe
yeah.
anything.
Yeah, there's I can't. So you're telling me that they have these pallets and pallets, cases and cases stacked on top of cases and cases. They know which one has. They can pull out two boxes from this one case, and they know for sure this one definitely has the 101 in it.
How do you? Okay, let's take it to the level of how do you know? Like they make certain hits. Like you think they have no idea what box they go into?
They might
or
know
what
it's in a
case
case.
go into?
They might know it's in a case, but you're like Joe. You're talking about this one.
So, but
YouTuber
you just said if they know it's in a case, wouldn't that make it more likely that they could send the case they know is in to a particular person? Like there isn't, like people like to think in the production of the cards, everything is packed randomly and nobody knows where it is, but we don't really know that that's the case.
Especially
like
stuff like National Treasures, where
Yeah,
it's
I've
literally just
heard
10 cards
other
that they put into a
people
box.
mention that card manufacturers do know where some of this stuff goes and what cases they're in. I'm saying any kind of this.
Who are their sources? Who are their sources? Are they making it up, or do they actually know?
I don't know. Like I mean, we don't
That's
know.
why it's a conspiracy
so like
theory.
we can't
Yes,
say
exactly.
But like I could say the same thing to you. Like that we could go back and forth with. Oh,
I know.
How do you know?
Yeah.
How
I'm
do you
just.
know all day.
I'm
but
listen, I'm
like
just
I
giving my
find it
viewpoint.
like how do they put those in the packs? Like are they just randomly thrown in the production line and randomly thrown into a pack that they don't know? Like I find that hard to believe in the manufacturing process that they would have like harder to find cards, big hits, whatever you want to call them, and they're just randomly going in and they have no idea where it is. I just don't think that sounds reasonable. And I think if they know where it is, I'm not saying they necessarily do or do not send them out, but I think the likelihood of it happening is there. There's definitely a chance it could happen.
There is a non-zero chance. And I will say, I don't think, especially the content creators, I don't think they're intentionally trying to get juiced boxes. It might not be on their side of it, but definitely from like Panini side of it or whoever they're getting the box from, there is a vested interest in sending them a juiced box to promote their product.
The content creators, I think they absolutely do it. I'm like a lot of them get the product early, like they're getting it from the company. They're sending it to them to open on their channel. They have a big enough channel. So like, why wouldn't they send them a box with something good in it? Like, it depends on if you believe that they know what's in a box. I think they do. And I just, we've all opened boxes of anything. Like, it just seems like some of the hit rates for some of the bigger channels are a lot higher than what a normal person seems to get when they open stuff. Unless
we've seen it ourselves, WWE Prism. Am I right, Mike?
Wow, yeah.
we're not big enough for you to get juice boxes.
You should
have
got a case, Mike. If you had got a case, maybe if you had ordered a case, then
Panini should send me a case to make up for the 2 boxes that I opened. Not bad.
I think one of the things that this conversation should do, I don't know how we can get it to the right people, but sports card companies should show us the process, the manufacturing process, how they go into packs, all that sort of stuff. Show us. Let us,
If they wanted us to know, they would. And that's what I think. They don't want us to know. Like,
well, and that
like I'm sure they don't want anybody thinking about, well, how do they know? Like, how do they get that 1/1 Mac Jones whatever autograph into a pack? Like, they don't want us thinking about that.
And that opens up actually just a much larger conversation, which would be a fun one to have later. Just general transparency in the hobby is just so bad. Like, how does PSA grade their cards? How does SGC? How is Panini putting cards into products? There is so little transparency that sadly it seemed like HGA was the only one who was real, did a behind the scenes thing, and we all know about that, but But yeah, I think just
How-
lack of transparency builds these conspiracy theories, whether they're true or not. They build them up because there's no way to prove or disprove it.
Show
Mhm.
us how you're getting your patches for the patch cards. Show us how you're getting the autographs. You know what I
They
mean?
go to
'Cause it-
Walmart. We know how they get the patches. Come on.
Just wait till Fanatics takes over. They can
Right.
get,
They have their
get
own
something on
store,
the
man.
app. Go into the closet over there and get stuff. All right, moving on to a related conspiracy. Number 2, I'm going to talk a little bit about case hits. Case hits, SSPs, whatever. Do you think they're really that rare? Or are maybe we being led to believe that these things are a little more rare than they really are?
It's so easy to fake rarity of cards that aren't numbered. I mean, we joke around about the rarity of cards that are numbered because it's like, okay, 1 of 1, 5 of 5. It's the same card, but with just a different foil number on it or whatever. But stuff that isn't numbered, how do you prove that? I mean, just again, total anecdotal evidence, right? But you go onto card Twitter and you scroll if something comes out, especially like retail. Oh, I went to Target and got 3 fat packs and got 3 downtowns and they're double case hits or whatever, whatever term, like really they are. It seems whenever something new comes out, I see all those short printed insert cards just flooding my feed, and it makes me think, how short printed are these things actually? There's no way to prove it other than just taking the company's word that yes, they are short printed. Believe me, don't question it.
I think that this kind of goes back a little bit to the previous conversation where they're just printing so much product, and then people are opening so much product, and breakers are opening so much product that we're only seeing the hits. We're not paying attention when people are like the 3 of us are buying 10 blasters and opening it, and there's nothing. We won't hit anything, so we don't post anything. So we're only seeing the hits. That's my take on it. Like, I think the social media aspect of it really makes it seem like there are a lot more of them than maybe there are.
Yeah, that's definitely a good point too, because people aren't going on and taking a picture of what the crap they got out of their box and posting on Twitter. So, I don't know that seeing post after post, picture after picture really means they're any easier to get. But at the same time, I think they make a lot more product now. So there are probably, you look at like Kabooms and Downtowns and stuff like that, there are probably twice as many of them in the 2021 product as there was in the 2019 product. They're not numbered. You don't know. Still a case hit. You're only get 1 per case, but we made, 5x the number of cases. So now there are 5 times as many of the Kaboom. So I think that plays into it a lot too. The chance of pulling them is the same, but the rarity is now not the same. There are a lot more of them than there used to be. Like, why would they not number them? They number everything.
Right.
They clearly, I feel like any insert a manufacturer doesn't number is because they don't want you to realize that there are really more of them out there than you think. So like, like they number, like Panini numbers literally everything. Like it's hard to pull a card that doesn't have a number on it anymore. There's so many parallels.
And again, that goes back to the transparency discussion. If we knew actually how many of these things there were, maybe we wouldn't question how short printed they actually are. And some people are just so excited to get some of the ugliest cards, by the way, Kabooms and Downtowns, but people get just so excited about them because, I'm going to put this on eBay right away. And or the random person who actually thinks it's a cool looking card, but I'm going to put this on eBay and I'm going to get $500 real quick. And it's mind blowing that no one stops to think, why aren't they numbering these? Because if they're a case hit, how many cases are actually out there? Can we determine how many cards? And then people come up with these, the checklist says it's no more than X, or it's like, then just number them. Why aren't you numbering them?
Yeah, I hate that so much Panini product doesn't even put the hit rates on their stuff, right? Like that's just not, there's nothing there at all.
Yeah, they don't want people to be able to figure some of the stuff out.
Right.
I don't like, I
Topps
know
does, but
the Select Wrestling I've been opening, they have like, you can get this version,
That
this
I've been
version, or
opening?
this version
Are-
of like this level. Like they don't give you odds. They just say there are these different levels. You don't
Right.
know which one's harder to get, which one's easier. Yeah, they're a lot of misdirection with some of the unnumbered stuff because they don't, you know. Okay,
Wait, can
You
we
had-
circle back? How much have you opened?
Yeah.
Conspiracy
this
theory.
pod.
Mike
Well,
is
don't-
open
not a
about
podcast.
30.
Don't worry. He's going to open up like a case of hobby to make up for the blasters he's been opening.
I might. No, I've been killing it with that. So I've been doing really well. But okay, Joe, you have to pick one. Are you going to take a Kaboom or a Downtown?
Actually, probably I'll take a Kaboom because it kind of, if you squint really, really hard, it kind of looks like a Pacific Prism,
Okay.
like base card from like 1997. So if you can squint and not really look how ugly it is, maybe that. But man, those Downtowns, I will say, if Kenny Pickett gets a on campus, I don't think they're doing on campus this year, but they did them last year in some of the draft pick stuff. An on campus card, that is it's the equivalent of Downtown, but for the collegiate stuff, that I would get because it would have, you know, Hail to Pitt. They would have the Cathedral of Learning. I'm all psyched up for it.
You're
I want
such
one.
a hypocrite.
I am. If I like it, it's fine.
They're ugly unless I like the player.
Right. Unless I like the player and went to school there. That's it.
Okay, moving on to conspiracy theory number 3, our final one of the episode. Pop control by grading companies. Is this a real thing?
I'll defer to EP because I have a whole rant.
Great.
I think maybe they're doing it, but not intentionally. I think probably some people saw, oh, we're giving out 10s for everything. We probably shouldn't do that. We probably should be more responsible. And so I think that was probably the case. It's not. I don't think they're out there saying we can only do the X number of 10s on this card. Stop. You have to stop after we get to this 10th card. But I do think there's some more regulation than there had been.
So that's a
Okay, Joe.
reasonable argument that if I wasn't me, I would totally agree with. But
you're Joe Day.
I'm Joe Day, and
PSA
I
Joe Day.
submit way too many. Don't ever say that to me. PSA Joe Day.
PSA
I've
Day.
submitted way too many Tom Brady rookie cards to know that they have shut the valve off on certain cards, and unless it's absolutely pristine, you're not getting 10s for his rookie cards. I've seen even our guy Alico 3, he'll send stuff and be like, this should have been a 10. It's a 9 or it's an 8. There are certain cards. I probably agree more with EP than the actual conspiracy. I do think there are cards that they probably graded a little too easy back in the day, and then they've kind of self-corrected. But it wouldn't be a conspiracy theory show if I didn't say I have Tom Brady's right on the other side of that wall that should be about 2 grades higher, but they shut the valve off and they refuse to give good grades.
Maybe you just don't know how to pre-grade your cards.
That might be it. Maybe that's it.
I don't know. My thought on it is maybe I don't know that there's pop controlling like intentional. I think the grading standards that they use on valuable cards might be a ever-changing scale, maybe. Like I like it just seems like human nature. Like if you're grading a Tom Brady rookie card, take a Bowman Chrome rookie card from, say, a grader graded in 2001. He's looking at the card very objectively, just like all the others, right? Well, now in 2022, he's looking at that card and knowing if he puts a certain grade on it, he's going to assign a huge value to it. So I feel like maybe the grader is like, okay, I'm going to really look at this one. Yeah. Like I feel like they grade them tougher, not that it's intentional, but just human nature, knowing they know when they're looking at a valuable card, and they know if they say, okay, this is a 10, that they just made that card worth even more money. So I think they're going to look at it with a little more emphasis on everything to make sure they don't miss anything. And like I feel like they're always going to err kind of on the lower side if they're not sure about something.
Wait. Someone recently called me clueless for saying that grading was subjective. Are you saying I am not clueless?
Well, you might be. I'm not saying that's the inherent.
Is that your
wrong.
objective opinion, or is that subjective?
No.
I mean, you raise a good point that they are definitely going to look at cards that are more valuable. And you could also, if you want to combat the conspiracy theory, right? You say, well, PSA. You look like PSA. You're PSA. Yeah, you're a PSA.
Imagine the slabs. Imagine the label.
But PSA charges on a scale. So the anti-conspiracy theory is, well, if they want to keep making more and more money, yeah, sure. If something's a 9 or a 10, it's kind of in between. Well, we'll call it a 10 so we can charge more for the submitter. We can upcharge on that card. So, I mean, to combat the theory a little bit, I will say it would be in their financial interest if something's borderline to bump it to the next grade.
I don't know that you really see that though. Like,
oh, I'm not saying you see it. I'm saying that would be an incentive for them to actually, just err on the side of whatever the higher grade is so that they can charge more.
Like, I feel like a Tom Brady rookie card, if you got a 10 now, is probably a better card, might be a better card than one you got graded a 10 in 2000.
More
well, and that's why they sell for less. I mean, if you look at eBay sales, and this isn't just Tom Brady, I'm sure this is across the board.
Mm-hmm.
Cards in old slabs don't sell as well as cards in new slabs. Now, I bought a card recently that's in an old slab. I plan on reslabbing it because the slab itself is all scuffed up and everything. So it's not because I hate that old label. And if I display my cards, I want it in a new slab. But there are people who just won't buy something in an old slab because they think it's not graded as well or as accurately. And then, there are people that just want to see the new slab and don't really look at the cert number to realize it was graded 15 years ago, 20 years ago. And they just see the lighthouse and they're like, oh, it must be recent. And then they go and pay up for that. But yeah, I think that you're completely right, Mike. The stuff that's been graded a long time ago may not be held up to the same standard as it is today, for better or for worse.
Okay, guys, I think we handled these conspiracy theories pretty well. I think we might need to do some more of these. So this was a fun one. All right, guys, take care.
All right,
see you, boys.